Put a price on emotion, looking for something to buy. You've got my devotion, but man, I can hate you sometimes. I don't wanna fight you, and I don't wanna sleep in the dirt. We'll get the drinks in, so I'll get to thinking of her. We'll be a fine line. 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 We'll be alright. Test of my patience. There's things I will never know. Welcome to Confabulate. I've got to get to my breakdown. I wish I could sing this song for forever. But this song is too long and I gotta get to my album breakdown. If you couldn't tell, today we're doing Fine Line by Harry Styles, who I love very, very much. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. I really do appreciate it. I didn't even do my intro, so let me do that for you right now. What's going on, guys? You all here, and welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Will Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. Like I said, today we are doing Fine Line by Harry Styles. And guess what, you guys? I'm getting sick again. I am pissed off about it. Got sick a few times in January, got sick in February. Here we are in March, and I feel like I'm getting sick again. I already had medicine. And this has literally been the hardest season to record because I just don't feel well. And it sucks that I can't film these episodes or find the time. I've been working a lot too, so there's a lot going on in my life, but I'm getting sick again. And thank God it didn't happen yesterday, because yesterday I got to sing the national anthem at a basketball game at Marina High School. The city of Marina literally hunted me down and looked for me, and they found me and they asked me if I'd be interested in singing the national anthem for them. And I don't know if you guys know, but the national anthem, like singing that song, I've been dreaming of singing it since I was a little kid, and it's been a bucket list moment for me. And I'm so happy that it happened, that I actually did it. I did forget the words, and I was so scared that everyone was gonna hate me, and that, because I'm like, who messes up the words to national anthem? I thought it was like disrespectful to like our country and stuff. So I felt so bad, but everyone was so sweet and they helped me finish it. And it went really well. I just wish I could have done it again. Hopefully I'll get another chance to do it. But I'm so happy and I'm so honored that I got to sing it. And I'm very excited that this week we're breaking down Fine Line by Harry Styles. This album means a lot to me, and it became one of my favorite albums, and I quickly became a Harry fan. I did love his debut album. It was so good. But when I heard Fine Line, I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, I think it represented him the best in terms of his artistry and him as a person, and every song is so different on this album. That's what I love about albums. I love it when albums can have different songs that are so different and like in their own lane and in their own box. So every song is just so different, and like not even different genres, but just like different approaches and what they're about and different sounds and stuff. And I'm very, very excited to break down this album. I've been a fan of Harry's probably since the beginning because I grew up with One Direction and I know all of One Direction's stuff. But I will say that Niall was my favorite from One Direction. He was always my favorite. But I am a massive Harry Styles fan as well. But I gotta stay true to Niall. I can't leave him. I'm so excited for The Voice. The Voice is starting. And Kelly Clarkson is back, so I can finally watch, because I don't really watch if she's not there. And Niall Horan and Chance the Rapper and Blake. So it's gonna be a cool season, and I'm excited. And anything else that I wanted to mention? No, I don't think so. Thank you, Maddie, for doing the promo video for this episode, up on Instagram and Snapchat and all that good stuff. I guess without further ado, let's dive into Fine Line by Harry. Also, I've always wanted to see Harry in concert, and I still haven't been able to see him. One day. I know he's touring right now, and I'm sure he's going to take a long break because he's been touring 2 years now, over 2 years. He's not even done. So hopefully I'll see him one day. I do love him though, and Harry's House is really good too. It was hard to choose which one I was going to do, but I'm going to do Fine Line. So let's dive into Fine Line. This album was released on December 13th, 2019, which kind of sucked because it did release, and he was only able to do like 2 or 3 months of promo because then COVID happened and the whole pandemic, so he couldn't really do a lot to promote and to do performances. So that sucked, but at least he had to cancel his tour too, and that's why the tour one started like in mid 2021, and then Harry's House came out, so he had to do that and tour that one too. Fine Line debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 200, and debuted at number 3 on the UK albums chart. Fine Line is certified triple platinum in the US and has sold over 3 million units in the US. Fine Line received 3 Grammy nominations, and I think he won just one of them, I think, for Watermelon Sugar. Fine Line was nominated for Album of the Year at the 2020 Brit Awards. He won Favorite Pop Rock Album at the 2020 American Music Awards. Rolling Stone ranked it at number 491 on its list of the 500 greatest albums of all time, making it the most recent album to be included. For promo, Harry performed and hosted Saturday Night Live. He was the guest host for The Late Late Show with James Corden. He did a one-night-only show at the Forum in LA, and Fine Line had some huge singles like Adore You, Watermelon Sugar, Falling, and Golden. Speaking of Golden, that's the first track of the album, so let's dive into Golden. Written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, Tyler Johnson, and Mitch Rowland. Produced by Tyler Johnson, Golden peaked at number 57 on the Billboard Hot 100, and Golden was the album's 5th single and received a music video on October 26th of 2020. And I love that music video, him running through Italy and in the car and then like the beach and stuff. It's so fun and just so much like energy and warmth and happiness, and I loved it. Golden was the first song to be written for the album. And this song is basically about Harry being infatuated with a girl. He showers her with praise in an attempt to win her love, but she is wary of giving him her heart. Harry said that he was listening to the song while driving down the California shoreline, and he said, I'm quoting him now, "It's like driving down the coast. That is what the song is for. It feels so Malibu to me. We were all sat in the kitchen at Shangri-La having dinner, and we played it on one guitar while everyone sang around the table. It just felt really good." Harry says the word golden 37 times during the song. This song is basically just about liking this girl, falling in love with a girl, or a person, I don't know, and calling them that they're so golden, you know? Golden every time that I open my eyes, I see you, and you're golden, and you're beautiful, and you're perfect, and you're amazing, and it's a really pretty like little love song, and it's cool, and I like the da 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 da. That's what I love about him. He does so many cool and interesting sounds and approaches with his songs, and yeah, Golden is such a beautiful, beautiful song, and it's really, really cool. And yeah, it is a perfect song to kind of just drive down the shoreline. I picture driving down Big Sur listening to Golden. It just kind of like fits the vibe. So I understand what he means when he says it feels so Malibu to me. Because yeah, I picture the beach and I picture the sunny days and just driving down. Yeah. So that was Golden. Next up is a little song called Watermelon Sugar, written by Harry Styles, Mitch Rowland, Tyler Johnson, and Thomas Hole. Also, you're going to start hearing like the same names. And I love this about Harry. He works with very, very few songwriters and producers. So it's all like the same names I'm going to keep saying. And I love that. I feel like it keeps the connection going. And he only works with a few people. He doesn't need a bunch of people sending him songs and all these producers and songwriters and trying to make it perfect. No, he stays true and has a little small circle and just makes his art. So, written by Harry, Mitch Rowland, Tyler Johnson, and Thomas Hole. Produced by Tyler Johnson and Kid Harpoon. Watermelon Sugar peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was his first ever number 1 song as a solo artist. I don't know if One Direction had any number 1 songs. I'm assuming they did. But this was Harry's first ever number 1 song. Watermelon Sugar was the 4th single from the album. I will say the single choices was really interesting. There are 7 singles from this album. And the way he did them, I'm like, so interesting. Because Watermelon Sugar was the biggest song from this album. And it was the 4th single. The 4th single. And that's so crazy. You would assume like the first single or the second single. That's usually how it is. The first or second, they become the big hits. And those are the ones that they do a lot of promo. But Watermelon Sugar was the 4th single from the album, which is crazy. And it was perfect that summer. It was so cool. Watermelon Sugar was nominated for Song of the Summer at the 2020 VMAs. The song won Best Pop Solo Performance at the 2021 Grammy Awards and won British Single of the Year at the 2021 Brit Awards. The song was nominated for Song of the Year and Best Music Video at the iHeartRadio Music Awards. Watermelon Sugar is about Harry Styles spinning a romantic tale. He compares the way he feels about his lover to the taste of strawberries on a summer evening. I'm quoting him now. It doesn't really matter what it's about, before adding that the sweetness of life, it's also about the female orgasm. And that's the thing that I read about a lot. I'm like, is Watermelon Sugar about like the female orgasm? I'm like, oh my god, it's about sex. It's about the vajay. I guess that's what it's about. And but I didn't know until he basically said. But I do love what he said, that it doesn't really matter what it's about. He says that a lot about all his songs, basically, when I was doing research for this album. That he just writes what he writes about, and music is supposed to be enjoyed by everyone, and they can interpret it however they want to. And because it relates to so many people in so many different ways, so he doesn't really want to just say what it's about. He wants people to kind of like come up with what they think it's about. But I'm quoting him again. He said that it's kind of about the initial euphoria of when you start seeing someone or sleeping with someone or being around someone and you just have that excitement, you know? Yeah, Watermelon Sugar is such a cool song. I remember I heard it on the album so many times before it even became like a huge single. And I've liked it since day one. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And it's just a simple pop song and very, very simple. A lot of these songs are really, really simple, but effectively done too. So yeah, that was a really, really great song, and I'm glad that it changed his life and it got him just to a whole new level of success. And the music video is really cool. It's cool to have those songs like during the summer that are kind of like that you remember just throughout your life, and I feel like that's gonna be one of the songs. So the next track that we have here, I love that he put because usually the first 3 songs they have to be really good because they're gonna keep your listeners entertained. So he had Golden, Watermelon Sugar, and Adore You, which were all 3 singles that did fairly well. Adore You was written by Harry Styles, Amy Allen, Tyler Johnson, and Kid Harpoon. Produced by Kid Harpoon. Adore You peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Nominated for Best Music Video at the 2020 Grammys. Nominated for Top Radio Song at the Billboard Music Awards. I did that wrong. This is 2021 Grammys. I don't know why I put 2020. My bad. And Adore You won Best Lyrics at the 2021 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Adore You was the second single from the album. And I will say that this Adore You music video is one of my favorites, probably ever. I just love how it was done. I think it was directed by Dave Meyers, I think. And I love, it's so sweet, like with the fish, and then the fish grows up, and then, I just love, you have to watch it if you haven't seen it yet. It's so sweet. But the song, Harry is basically singing about his complete and absolute devotion towards a girl. I'm quoting him now, about that initial infatuation stage, that heavy feeling of just bliss. It's like a blissful, joyous connection with someone. Very straightforward. Having that connection with someone, falling for someone. Just let me adore you, let me love you. Yeah, basically just catching feelings and stuff like that, which is really cool. Also, Kelly Clarkson covered the song on her show. She also covered Watermelon Sugar, and she covered Falling, which we will talk about later. Adore You was probably his first radio hit. And then Watermelon Sugar came and became even a bigger hit, but I remember hearing Adore You first on the radio, and I was like, oh my god, he made it. It's so cool to hear him on the radio. Yeah, Adore You is a really cool song. He changes it up quite a bit when he sings it live, because that top note, the walk through fire for you, no, the walking you, I get so lost in. Yeah, that top note is kind of hard, so he goes, he does it lower. He's like, I get so lost inside your eyes. He just changed them a lot. It's hard when you're singing these songs on tour all the time, and you have to hit notes that you can't really be hitting all the time. That's it for Adore You. Our next track is Lights Up. This was actually the first single from the album, and I find that so interesting. I don't picture this as a first single. Usually the first single just kind of takes off and does this thing, but Lights Up, it was interesting though. It was cool though. It was cool to have the song, and the music video is really cool too. It's hot, so y'all gotta watch that music video. Lights Up is written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, and Tyler Johnson. Produced by Tyler Johnson and Thomas Hole. Lights Up peaked at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was the first single from the album, like I said. And I think the song is about identity. I feel like Harry is finally embracing his true self, and he's stepping into the light, and he's basically never going back. That's when I first listened to it. I was like, step into the light, so bright sometimes, I'm not ever going back. I thought it was more about his personality, his identity, his true self. He's finally found it, and he's never going back to how he once was, and I relate to that so much. I don't recognize my 18-year-old self. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm so much secure and confident about my body and how I present myself and what I wear and just me as a person. And I'm never going back. I'm finally in the light, So I did find some research about this. I did do some research, and I found out that there's 3 theories about what this song is about. So one of them is about his sexuality. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, it could be tied into that. The other one is him never returning to One Direction. I feel like that's a bit of a reach. He's always loved the other boys, and they're supportive, and they all communicate with each other. But what do I know? And then the third one is him talking about the toxicity of being a celebrity, which I would have never thought of looking at it from that approach. But yeah, sometimes what is that for? What do you mean? I can't think of the words right now. But yeah, stepping into the light and never looking back. Actually, I don't really see the connection. I might need to see the lyrics right in front of me. I did see the connection a few days ago when I was researching, but I can't really think of it right now. And then I put in my notes here, personally, I don't really care what it's about. Songs are up for interpretation, but I love that Harry doesn't really give a real meaning to any of the songs that he writes about, because they mean so many different things to many different people, which I did mention that earlier on. Because I couldn't really find any information from Harry himself about what this freaking song is about at all. But those are the 3 theories of what the song is about, so you can let me know what you think it's about. That brings us to Cherry. Cherry is written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, Tyler Johnson, Jeff Basker, and Sammy White. Produced by Tyler Johnson and Thomas Hole. So Cherry, in the song, Harry was still cut up about the breakup when he penned the song. He wasn't really feeling that great. And this song is all about feeling not great. That's basically what he said. And because you get petty when things don't really go the way that you want to. And there's parts of breakups and parting ways from people that he says, I quote, pathetic. And basically, so his ex-girlfriend's boyfriend's dad, so his ex was dating this new guy, and that guy's dad owns a multi-million-dollar collection of artwork. And Harry says in this song, does he take you walking around his parents' gallery? Yeah. And I didn't know that was the connection. I actually didn't know a lot of these songs were about, like, this model girl that he dated. I don't even know what the hell she looks like. But a lot of these songs are about her, which is so interesting to learn about. Harry wanted to be true to how he was feeling about the breakup. At the same time, he was feeling under pressure to make big songs that were more commercial than the music on his debut solo album. That makes sense, because his debut solo album, I feel like he was very just the acoustic vibe, little like rock, alternative, and he was just making really, really amazing music. But with this one, he was more focused on kind of radio and kind of going bigger. Where am I? Johnson told him that you just have to make the record that you want to make right now. That's it. So they stayed up and they wrote Cherry that night. The song begins with Camille, I guess her name is Camille Rowe, greeting Harry in French. The cuckoo, that's her. And I didn't know, I literally thought it was Harry, but I guess it's her. And he said, I was playing the guitar and she took a phone call. And she was actually speaking in the key of the song. It just felt like it needed it. We're friends and stuff, so I asked her if it was okay, and she was okay with it. I think she liked it. Yeah, and then there's some French at the end of the song where she's speaking, and that's the phone call that she took, and he filmed it, and he used it in the song. And I like that she was okay with using it, because it is a beautiful song, and I really can't really picture it without it anymore. But it's all French. And yeah, I think it's a really cool song, and good for her for letting him use it. Also, I need to know who the fuck this girl is, Camille Rowe. Who is she? I'm assuming she speaks English, because I'm sure that's how else would it work out, you know? But yeah, that's her in the song. It was just so cool. Ooh, one of my favorite songs. I almost sang this song for this episode, but I didn't really like how it sounded. Well, how I sounded with it. So I did Fine Line instead. But, sorry. We have Falling, written by Harry Styles and Thomas Hole. Produced by Kid Harpoon. Falling peaked at number 62 on the Billboard Hot 100. He performed this song for the very first time live at the 2020 Brit Awards. Falling was the third single from the album. And Harry is full of regret that his fall from grace has caused the breakup. Harry was really cut up about the breakup and at times felt sadder than he'd ever felt before in his life. The song is about falling back into one of those raw moments. He had started to feel himself becoming someone he didn't want to be, and that was really hard for him. I relate to this so much. I think this is probably the saddest, most depressing song in the whole album. It's very deep, and this song is kind of just about hitting rock bottom, like I'm falling and I'm falling again. I'm just in my bed, nothing's really happening, I'm just sad, basically. How the song came about, Harry was showering and Kid Harpoon was playing the piano and singing the beginning part of the that's probably not the same melody, but the piano chords in the beginning. Harry stepped out of the shower and stood next to him in a towel. Then they wrote the whole thing in around 20 minutes. It's a very sad song and a hard song to sing. But actually, not even arguably, this is one of Harry's best songs ever. Falling is just out of this fucking world. And I actually covered the song a few years ago. I was I was freaking sick. Of course I was sick. And singing this song. That is one of my favorites though. And yeah, I'll listen to it in the car sometimes and I'll belt it out and I'll put that volume on 50 and hell yeah, I love Falling. Our next track that we have here is To Be So Lonely. I like this song. Written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, Tyler Johnson, and Mitch Rowland. Produced by Thomas Hole and Tyler Johnson. After the emotional ballads like Cherry and Falling, To Be So Lonely resembles a drunk phone call that may come at a denial stage of grief, which I think was so fucking cool. So this is the denial stage of grief, right? So anger was Cherry, which makes sense. He was kind of mad about the whole thing. And then depression, which we just talked about, which is Falling. And then, and this is denial, To Be So Lonely. This is portrayed in the lack of blame Harry feels for the end of the relationship, and is represented by the carefree tone of the song despite the complaints of loneliness within it. He's blaming himself for it, and he's in denial of everything that went down towards the end of this breakup. But musically speaking, the acoustic guitar, that is so interesting. And I remember first hearing it, and I'm like, whoa, how is he gonna sing over this guitar? Because that's such an interesting sound that they're making with it. And he did such a beautiful job with it. And yeah, and the chorus is so great too. Is this the one with the he sleeps and no, that's in She. But To Be So Lonely, it's kind of like more broken down a little bit, more little acoustic, but it does have some drums in it. He did perform this live at his Tiny Desk concert. And I've always really liked this. I know it's not really like a favorite amongst the fans, this one and what's the other one? Canyon Moon. But I really do like this song. It's really, really good. I don't know if I have anything else to say about To Be So Lonely. I think it's a really cool song. And again, it's about he's still lonely about the whole thing, but the song doesn't really give the vibe of loneliness. It's kind of in the middle, I think so. Yeah, that's To Be So Lonely. Moving on, this song here, She, written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, Mitch Rowland, and Basker, produced by Thomas Hole. Harry Styles channels a character who is fantasizing about his ideal girl, a married office worker, his daydreams living up his humdrum existence. Harry and his guitarist, Mitch, basically they took mushrooms and then they wrote this fucking song. Quoting, he had no idea what we were doing. Oh, we had no idea what we were doing, he recalled. He forgot all about that track, and then we went back later and loved it. But Mitch had no idea what he did on the guitar that night, so he had to learn it all over again from the track. She, from the minute she starts with the drums and the guitar, it is more rocky, but it's like a sexy kind of rock song. It's one of the best songs here. And even like the last 2 minutes of the song, the whole guitar solo is so fucking cool. And the chorus, she lives in daydreams with me. She's the first one that I see, and I don't know why. I don't know who she is. Yeah, my favorite part is actually in the bridge. Here's for the memory, woman who's just in his head. She sleeps in his bed, because he flips to his falsetto, and it's so pretty. And yeah, this song is fucking sick. It's so fucking cool. One of the best. And yeah, it's so fucking good. This should have been a single, but I don't know how well it would do on the radio because it is a longer song, so they kind of have to cut it down a little bit. But She is so fucking cool. So go check out She. Our next track that we have here is Sunflower Volume 6, written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, and Greg Kurstin, legendary songwriter and producer Greg Kurstin. Produced by Kid Harpoon and Greg Kurstin. Sunflower Volume 6 sets the tone for a more fun yet still reflective ending of Fine Line. In a slew of metaphors and hidden meanings, the song gives an overview on relationships, from the initial longing to get to know someone new, to feelings fizzling out, and the process repeating again. Harry seems to give hints on his own relationship history throughout the sunflower, which is the object of his affection, tongue-tied, alluding to being nervous or a lack of communication, and Volume 6 potentially addresses the number of relationships he's had before. Sunflower is a very like poppy song. Sunflower, my eyes on the melody. I'm going, no, I'm going. No, is that I'm going? That's Canyon Moon, I think. Going home, dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Sunflower Volume 6. I never really cared much for it, at all, actually. It was cool reading about it and how the theories are the Volume 6 that it was all his other relationships previously before the one he broke up with, maybe. But the sunflower, they were kind of using it as a metaphor too for the person that he's singing about, in that song. And yeah, that's pretty much Sunflower Volume 6. I never really cared much for it. I've only heard it, I don't know, that's probably my least favorite, I guess I would say, from this whole album. So I actually don't have a lot to say about Sunflower Volume 6. Yeah, moving on though to Canyon Moon, written by Harry Styles, Thomas Hole, Mitch Rowland. I couldn't find who it was produced by. This is one of the songs where I couldn't really find a lot of information. I'm assuming it's the same. It's either Thomas Hole or Mitch Rowland, or maybe both. In this song, Harry recalls a happy moment from the past. He's singing more about a place where he's from and less about a specific person. The Canyon Moon acts as a symbol, and it's a place where he resided with his significant other, whom he seems to be separated from at the moment. The Canyon Moon is a place from his hometown that he is kind of using as a symbol in the song. He misses the Canyon Moon and the times and the memories that he spent there with this significant person. It reminds me of Adele. She has a song called River Lee in her 25 album, and the River Lee was a place in her hometown that kind of brings back memories of when she was younger and that she wishes she was there. So then I listened to Canyon Moon by Harry, and Harry wishes he was back to the Canyon Moon in his hometown. Yeah, I actually really do like this song. And I like, he says, I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home. Yeah, dun 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 dun. Very simple song. But I think it's a cool song, and I really do like it. The last two tracks from this album, I'm trying to hurry up because I don't feel really well. I'm trying to finish this up and upload it and then get to bed. Which is actually why I don't have information for the last two. I'm sorry, I haven't done this already. Usually all the albums I have all the information for, but I don't have any information, but I can talk about it. I know it's Treat People with Kindness and Fine Line. So Treat People with Kindness, I know a lot of people don't fucking like it. I have loved it since it fucking came out. I think it's such a fun, dancey song, and I do have this song tattooed on my arm. It wasn't specifically for that song. Honestly, I've heard Treat People with Kindness for years, to always be kind and treat people with kindness and this and that. And that's kind of like my whole motto. I think we should always be kind to one another. It's so much easier to be nice and kind than to be full of hatred and to be mean. It takes so much more energy. So, yeah, I got Treat People with Kindness tattoo, and then the song came out, and I'm like, yeah, even more of a reason to get it, because I love Harry. So, this song is just about wanting to change the world. Maybe we can find a place to feel good, and we can treat people with kindness. Find a place to feel good. I love the second verse. Giving second chances. I don't need all the answers. Feeling good in my skin. I'll just keep on dancing. It's also like not listening to all the haters and to all the naysayers out there that want to hate on you and to talk shit about you. People want to be mean. You just kill them with kindness. You give them more kindness, and you give them a smile. That's what true people with kindness is all about. And I love that he kind of promoted that. And it was a single, and it got a music video. Oh, the music video is so good. The black and white, and then the dancing and the choreography, so fucking good. Yeah, treat people with kindness. I do really, really, really like that song. And if you don't like it, then you fucking suck. Join the party, okay? You like the song, okay? Please, it's really good. And that leads me to the very last song, and it's the title track of the album. And one of his best songs. I can't stand people who don't like the song. This is Fine Line. This is such a special, special song because the title track of the album should always, how do I say it? The title track, oh my god, I can't even talk. The title track should kind of resemble and kind of, give you an idea of what the album is about. Supposed to hold the meaning of the album. And that's exactly what Fine Line did. It's a perfect way to end this album. Fine Line is exceptionally well made, and it's so beautiful. From his voice, he was singing from a part of his voice that I didn't even know he can sing from. And it's so beautiful. Down to the very end with the freaking band and all the instruments. Oh my god. The song Fine Line is so beautiful. I can't even stress to you enough, okay? Hell, that's why I covered it in the beginning. I'm literally speechless thinking about it. I haven't recovered. Sometimes I'll play Fine Line and I'll just sit and drive and just listen to it. Everything is perfect. Perfect from it. And I think that's what I was missing from Harry's House. I was missing that song that kind of moved me. That kind of if I could pick one song to represent the whole album, what song would it be? And in Harry's House, I have no idea. But in Fine Line, I would pick literally Fine Line. It's so well made. It's so beautiful. The production, oh my god, the fucking production. It's so fucking good. And his voice, and I would actually die to hear that song live. I know it was in his set list and then he removed it. I was so pissed. But he sings it differently. I also do want to say, I know he wrote every song here and he writes all of his songs. I knew that Harry was going to be one of my favorite songwriters when he did a little song called Just a Little Bit of Your Heart by Ariana Grande. When I found out that he wrote that song and gave it to her, I was like, oh shit, so he can songwrite, he can write. Because Just a Little Bit of Your Heart is one of my favorite Ariana Grande songs ever. Probably my favorite, and I don't know if an Ariana song will top it. Her song, POV, Point of View, was close to topping it. But no, Just a Little Bit of Your Heart is my favorite Ariana song, and the fact that Harry wrote it blows me away. So I know that he is an incredible songwriter, and Fine Line proves that. And Falling, and a lot of the songs here actually. So Fine Line is just insanity, and I can't believe that's an actual song. I love it. And that kind of concludes my whole album breakdown for y'all. I really do appreciate you listening and for supporting me. and for bearing with me in this whole episode and not all there like usual. And we only have a few episodes left of the whole season. I think I got 3 more for you. And then I do have a special one coming out on Mother's Day, but that's gonna take some time. I still gotta film that. And yeah, any Harry fans, let me know what you thought about this breakdown. And I really do appreciate all the support and all the love. But I can't wait to finish the season and to take a break. It's been so hard to find time to do all of this. Yeah, thanks for listening. Love y'all. Bye.